BYU did win the game last night. 18-15, the text line 57500. You might be wondering what massacre happened down in Dallas. They did win. The offensive performance was not great. It felt a lot like 2023. I think the problem with some of Jake's turnovers too, Mitch, is that they're bad decisions. You think about that 99-yard pick six against Oklahoma. Just don't do that. Just don't make that play. And his first interception last night, you're getting sacked. It's okay. It wasn't even third down. I don't remember it being third down on that play. Just take the sack. Maybe you can make up some yardage and try a field goal attempt. You don't need to try and shed this great physical talent. SMU had some nice bodies on the defensive line.
They did.
Just take the sack, hold on to the football. I think that's the problem with these turnovers is, one, there's way too many and they're costly, but two, they're horrible decisions. So like that, his second interception, that was just a great defensive play. That happens in football. You have to accept that sometimes you have a good call and someone makes a play. But the majority of his turnovers are not those. They're bad decisions by him, and I think that's what you have to be on the look for next week against Wyoming, is if you look, if there's a tipped ball that becomes a turnover, I'm not going to kill you for that. But if you can't keep the ball on a read option, that first fumble, you missed the handoff first off on the jet sweep. You were late on the sweep, and then you cough it up. That is hard to get over, and that's what he can't do anymore. And if he does, then I'm ready for Bohannon, but I still think you give him the first crack.
I agree. I think that he still will probably be that first quarterback against Wyoming, which will be BYU's last non-conference game before they jump into Big 12 play. Let's check in on what's going on around the Big 12 this week.
Sponsored by Central Bank, Arkansas and Oklahoma State. This is becoming a good game. I was really worried for the Cowboys a moment ago, but a muffed punt and a recovery followed by a touchdown. That thing is tied up at 21 in the fourth quarter. It'd be a nice win. I know they're at home. Arkansas still trying to find their way with a bunch of new players that somehow have connections to the state. We've seen Taylon Green before, Jaquindon Jackson, the Utah running back for the Razorbacks. That's a good one right now on ABC.
Number 17, Kansas State is down. It was tied at 20 at the end of the third. Now Tulane just went up 27-20, 14:01 left in the fourth. And the other Big 12 game in action, Cincinnati at home against Pitt. They're up 27-19. 10:41 to go in the fourth.
Should Willie Fritz had stayed at Tulane?
Maybe. No, I think he'll get it going at Houston.
Yeah. Later today, in less than an hour, Baylor and Utah non-conference game. Kind of weird, but Baylor and the Utes kicking off at 1:30. Also at 1:30, the Cyhawk battle, Iowa State, Iowa. And then later today, a bunch of there was still an interesting game. Colorado, Nebraska.
Yes.
That's probably the most interesting one left on the Big 12 slate.
That's 5:30. Also, Kansas at Illinois.
That's okay.
That's going to be a good one. I think Kansas should roll, but we shall see. And then Texas Tech at Wazoo. And then
Mike Leach Bowl.
Arizona State versus Mississippi State. How does Arizona State kind of follow up a breakthrough performance against Wyoming? Do they validate that performance with a win potentially against an SEC team? Late night kick, 8:30 p.m. in Arizona. Temperature 103 is projected at 8:30 in the desert. Be glad BYU's going there in November. Thank you, Big 12 schedule makers. I would not have done well. I was struggling with that Dallas humidity. I would have been dying in that 103 at night in Tempe. So thank you, Brett Yormark. He was very additive. Saw you last night, and good to see the Big 12 crew in Dallas. We're taking a break. On the other side, we'll get to the blueprint of how this BYU win came to be against the Mustangs. Cougars get it done, 18-15. Talking more about it next here on Cougar Sports Saturday.